What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Today I have a really exciting one for you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about the Super Archer Blimp and a few different attack strategies that you can pair with this specific idea. I think this strategy is really important to learn right now, especially just because it's really popular in the meta, and that's for a good reason. It's a really strong idea. It works on so many different bases, and I think that that if you really master this technique, you'll be able to get some really good results out of it. You know, you can bring that triple rate up, go from maybe like an 80% to like a 90% triple rate. I'd say I do have to say that I'd say this attack strategy, it's really strong, and also it's quite easy, because I would say that if you were to spam it, you could get maybe I think you would get a lot of triples, I think. However, I do want to go over some of the finer details that I bet you don't really know. I would bet that most people don't know some of these finer ideas, but that's what we're here to talk about today. You can see in my log that I do get a lot of triples with this idea, with this attack. Most of them are triples, with a couple of fails, but nonetheless, I do want to go over this attack strategy. I think it's really strong, and I hope you enjoy, because I'll be going into some pretty cool details about it, I think, and hopefully I can help you guys get better at this strategy and start getting a lot more triples. So let's get right into it. All right, so this is the first replay I wanted to show. There's this specific variation. I would say this is the most popular one, and also probably the one that I would recommend you guys to learn, more than any of the other strategies I'm going to show. And that is pairing the Super Archer Blimp with a Lalo. I think that this is probably the method that you'll use the most. However, I do want to explain when you should use this method as opposed to other methods, because I think that'll be really important. So first of all, let's go over the very basics of this attack, the basics of specifically the Super Archer Blimp, and how you want to execute that part, in case you've never done one before, which I'm sure a lot of you might not have done it before. So here's the idea behind this attack. So at the start, what you want to do, the idea behind it is you're investing so much into this blimp, at the initial part. You're investing pretty much all of your spells, the blimp, the siege machine, the troops inside, and in my case, I usually like to invest the warden, and its ability into the blimp. And the reason is that I think that you just want to go big or go home, with this thing. There are certainly times when you don't have to use the warden ability, and you don't really have to use it, for example. That's usually if you're blimping into a pretty safe area. And honestly, for me, I even tend to use the warden ability into the safe areas. I think if you're doing this strategy correctly, I don't think you always need the. I think that it's okay to do the rest of the attack without the warden. Yeah, you don't have to use the warden, but I strongly recommend it. So here, let me just talk about like the execution of the blimp itself. So just watch what I do. So first of all, you want to shield your blimp with a couple of balloons. I typically put about 6 balloons. That's what I'll do every time. And remember, I'm going to be using the warden ability, so these balloons are actually going to survive for quite a bit. That's why I'm putting so many in here at once. And I'll follow it up with the warden and the blimp. And what you'll notice that I do here, is that I actually pop the warden somewhat early, I think. Okay, never mind. It was not that early, but that's okay. The idea is that sometimes a lot of times you do want to do what I just did, which is waiting for the blimp to reach the very edge of the warden ability before you activate it. That's certainly not a bad idea. That's how you get the most value. That's how you get the most distance out of your blimp. And that's certainly good, especially if you're trying to travel your blimp to like the very edge of the base, for example. However, on other attacks, I might show in this replay with my other attacks. I don't remember if I did it or not, but you don't actually always have to warden ability so late. You can warden ability really early, and the reason why is if your blimp doesn't have to go that far and it doesn't actually need the full warden ability, you can actually protect all of your balloons before they die. And if you protect all of them, they can actually get some more value. So you can also really use the warden ability for protecting the balloons and helping them getting that value. Because notice here that with the balloons that I've just used the warden ability on, I'm going to be able to get the cannon and probably the wizard tower, and I think maybe also that archer tower over there. So that's going to be some really good value. So anyways, I warden ability the blimp, and I'll try to go as far as I can. I'll explain this blimp angle a little bit later, but you'll see what I do. So my blimp is basically about to die. Right when the blimp is about to die, I want to pop it and also land an invisibility spell immediately afterwards, because I don't want my troops inside to die, right? That's the point of this idea. So the idea is that we're going to put all 6 invis spells into the blimp, into the troops that come out. Then we're going to rage and then double clone them, all the archers that come out. So I personally prefer the double clone. You'll see people who only use 1 clone, for example. Sometimes people will use like 1 clone and 2 rage, for example, and extra invis. I think personally, I think the double clone is the best. I think that's probably the most value you can get out of the blimp. So I recommend trying that out. I never use the other spell comps, but yeah, I would recommend using this one. So what I do is I drop the blimp, immediately drop the invis on top, and I don't clone yet. You never want to clone immediately. The reason why is because I put wall breakers in here in this blimp. The wall breakers are there not only first of all, they test for traps, which is good to shield your super archers. But also, I really like how the wall breakers, they actually break open the walls, and usually that'll give you a little bit more range for your super archers. So for example, if you didn't land in the compartment you wanted to, those wall breakers can kind of help correct your super archer placement, because they can break open the walls and just let you hit the targets that you want anyways. So yeah, that's why I bring the wall breakers. And the thing is, the biggest mistake that beginners will make is that they clone immediately, and what happens is that they clone the wall breakers that are inside. Or if you use another troop like barbarians, you should not use barbarians in the blimp, but if you do, you don't want to clone them. Remember, you need as much value out of your super archer blimp as you can. So you want to clone the super archers. You never want to clone the other troops inside. So here, what I do is I clone the super archers. So what I do is I wait after the first invis, let the first invis go, and allow the wall breakers to die. And then once everything except the super archers are dead, then I start using the clones and the rage and the invis. So here we go. After the clone, then we rage and double clone, and now our archers pop. And remember, count every 4 seconds. After every 4 seconds, the invisibility spell will expire, and then you want to place another one down. So I count, after I place this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see what I'm doing? That's exactly what you want to do. So let me back up this replay for a second. And I want you to know that's basically how we do the super archer blimp. Now, I think there are some other ways to execute it. You can like you can wait until like almost the second invis is done, and then you can rage and clone or whatever. I think there's a few different ways to do it. That's just the one that I specifically chose to do it. You can watch other pros and see how they do it. I think there's a lot of different ways, but that's the one that I specifically chose. So yeah. So now let's talk about logistics of like how the Super Archer Blimp, like where you should try to hit. So for specifically the Lalo version, here's what you need to know. And this is kind of the more important part that I feel like people get this wrong pretty much all the time, or they just don't pay attention to it. This isn't really something that I think is talked about a lot. So I would say that there are 3 main variations to this attack, to the Super Archer Blimp. One is the Lalo. 2, you can use Super Barbarians to pair with the attack, and the 3rd is to use Dragons and Dragon Riders. That's the Dragon and Dragon Rider variation. I actually haven't really seen at the pro level. I feel like I'm like the only person who uses it, but I think it's the best method on certain bases, and I think I'll showcase that later. So stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss that. So here, what exactly differentiates when you use each of these 3 attacks and when you want to use them? It's pretty important, I think. So specifically for the Super Archer Blimp Lalo, what you need to know is that Lalo kind of sucks without spell support. You are not gonna, because all of your spells are being used into your Blimp, you're gonna have no spells left for your Lalo, right? And if you're trying to go through the stuff that normally counters a Lalo really hard, it'll be really difficult without spells. So what you need to do for this variation, you need to take out all the key targets that will take down a Lalo really easily, and that means you need to take out as much splash as you can with the Blimp, okay? What do I mean by that? That means that your main targets for this attack, for this specific variation, should be both Scatters, the Town Hall for sure, and the Eagle. Just a side note about the Town Hall. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention. Also, multi-Infernos are really important. RC and Queen are nice to have, although you can kind of let your heroes take care of that. Essentially, okay, yeah. But back to my side note, the Town Hall. You pretty much, I would say 90% of the time, you should get the Town Hall with your Blimp. If you are not planning on getting the Town Hall with a Blimp, then you need another like really specific plan, essentially. If you don't get the Town Hall with your Blimp, you must take it out with your heroes. There's like no exception to that. Your Lalo will, I can guarantee you, your Lalo will never take out the Town Hall, especially if you don't have your Warden. If you have your Warden, maybe you can secure like a 2-star and just get the Town Hall, but then your balloons are gonna die to it. Anyways, you never want to leave the Town Hall for your balloons because your balloons will not be getting that Town Hall. So you need to get it with your Super Archer Blimp, or you need to plan on not taking it out with the Blimp and taking it out with the heroes instead, which is possible, but I'll explain that in another time, hopefully. But here, what does this mean for this specific base? Since I'm using the Lalo, I need to take out all the as much splash as I can, and that means I need to take out the Scatters, I need to take out the Eagle and the Town Hall, and I would prefer to take out like this section as well with the multi and the hero and the RC. However, there's so much more value up at the top that I don't think, and it's not really possible to take out that area as well. So what's my plan for this? I planned to take out this. I plan to land my Blimp on the Eagle, and then from there use the Super Archers to take out the Scatters and the Town Hall and the Eagle. Those are the very most important targets, okay? Because those are splash. And you'll realize that once you take out all the splash, then your Lalo can actually just cruise through with no spell support because you just have so many balloons, and it's not really going to be an issue after that. And that's typically how you want to be tripling with this attack. So yeah, let me show you what I do. So as you saw earlier, we use the balloons and the blimp. So I chose this specific angle because I know that the sweeper is going to knock me back. If the sweeper is going to knock back your blimp and you want it to land kind of far, you definitely want to use the warden ability. That sweeper will kind of screw your blimp. But as you can see here, I wanted to land on the eagle. I was a little bit short, but it's okay. I ended up kind of getting there. And as you can see, after I execute this super archer blimp, then I get pretty much all the value that I wanted. I got the town hall, I got both scatters, I got some expos which were extra value. Those were nice, but not completely necessary. And you can see that I got this huge chunk of value around the base, and that's what you want to see. You need really good value out of this blimp, again, because you're investing so much into it, right? So the question is, what do I do here? Well, think about this. You want to basically finish off this base with your Lalo. And how are we going to do that? Well, we need our heroes to secure this bottom side. Because if we don't, because our Lalo is going to really struggle through this multi-inferno and this RC because we have no spells. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to push my heroes into that section of the base. So I start over here. Yeah, it'll take a second. I just let the super archers die. I think that it doesn't really matter. You can start the heroes here. But yeah, I start the heroes kind of far up, and I essentially want them to move all the way down to the rest of the base, to the 6 o'clock section. So you'll notice here I start dropping things kind of fast, and kind of a lot of stuff here. And the reason why is because I want my heroes to get here, and I want them to get there kind of fast, because I don't want my Lalo to go into this area. I want to start my Lalo over here on the 3 o'clock side, and then hopefully my heroes can take out the 6 o'clock section before my Lalo reaches there. So here I go. I'm just taking out this area of the base. It's very low damage, so my heroes are going to take essentially no damage from here, and that's good. The main problem here is time. The problem is that this is taking a lot of time, so therefore it is a little bit frustrating, but that's okay. I was extremely surprised that my king actually went through that area. I thought he was going to go down to the bottom. And you'll see that I realize around here that my heroes are going to take out this area. I also send in the RC, I think, just because I need to support, because I really need this multi-inferno and the queen down. And you'll see, like, it's just secured here, right? It's completely fine down at the bottom, and now I can send my Lalo from the top. There are a few things you can do. Some attacks, for this one, I attacked from this top side just because I'm running low on time, and I realized, like, if you're running low on time, you should send your Lalo at a different angle from your heroes, because that's how they take out as much stuff as quickly as they can. But for another attack, which you'll see, I actually do the opposite, and I'll show you what happens in that attack. But you can see that after the multi-inferno goes down, there's absolutely no splash, and there's basically nothing left in the base. The Lalo easily cruises through the rest of this, and it's a pretty easy triple with tons of loons remaining. So you could see, especially at the end, like there was basically no Lalo technique there. It was basically just a spam, and it was really easy after that. That's the beauty of this attack. When you get the really good value out of your blimp, that means you can do a lot with your Lalo. You don't really have to put that much technique into the rest of it. The hardest part of this attack is probably just knowing what army to use, and also just executing the blimp. If you can get that right, if you get all the targets that you need, and then you understand the rest of the attack, like it'll be super, super easy. So that's cool. Let's move on to the next attack. So, okay, this attack I'm taking a total of 15. However, yeah, I'd say it's pretty tough. It's a pretty solid Town Hall 15. A lot of stuff maxed out, and I am only Town Hall 14. There are a few defenses like the Archer Towers and other stuff that aren't like fully maxed, but it's still pretty much a Town Hall 15. So you might say, wow, this might be a really difficult base to attack. But for a Super Archer Blimp, this is actually extremely easy to attack, and I'll show you what happens here. So here I'm using the Super Barbarian variation, and this one has gotten to the meta more recently than the other, than the Lalo attack. The Lalo has been around for a few years now, but the Super Barbarians are kind of a new idea. And here's kind of the idea behind this. This is a little bit opposite to the Lalo attack, because what you're doing here, after you take out enough value with the super archers, you're going to essentially rely on your heroes for the rest of the attack and just use the super barbarians as support. So that means that what you want is that you want to take out the defenses and other things that do huge damage to your heroes, and not to splash. So in this case, the multi-infernos are not really a problem after your super archer blimp. They're not going to be a problem for your heroes. The biggest problem is you need to take out all the single infernos, probably the rage towers. You want to take out enemy heroes. That's pretty much always important. If you're Town Hall 15, you want to take out the monolith. That's pretty important. And also the CC. The CC, I mean, I guess you could deal with it. I'll show you what I mean. But CC is a pretty big problem for heroes in general. So what do I do here? Well, I need to take out the single inferno, these heroes. I need to take out the town hall. So the angle of my blimp is pretty obvious. I want to land on this dark elixir storage, or maybe a little far from it. But I definitely don't want to blimp from, say, 9 o'clock. It doesn't make sense to blimp from here. The reason why, I mean, if I land on the CC, I'll get the town hall, maybe two of the scatters. I'll get the eagle, the inferno. But what do I leave up? I leave the enemy heroes up. I leave the single inferno up. My heroes are not going to have a fun time with that area of the base. So this is going to be a huge problem for me later on. So I want to take out, I want to blimp from 3 o'clock in this case. You'll see what I do here. The execution of the blimp is exactly the same as the last attack. I warned a little bit early here. You can see again, I want to protect those balloons. And my blimp doesn't have to travel that far. So yeah, okay. Unfortunate tornado trap there. I was not really expecting that, but it's okay. Again, my blimp doesn't have to travel that far. That's why it's okay. And another thing is that if your blimp doesn't land far enough, remember you have those wall breakers to break open those walls, and you also have the clone spell. You can clone your super archers over the wall if you need to. So you see here I pop the blimp manually. It's gonna die soon, I know. Instantly once I pop the blimp, the wall breakers come out and just break open those walls. Excellent. I wait for the first invis, and then I start raging and cloning. In this area, you'll notice that what I do here is I take out the town hall. Very important. Town hall is probably the most important target, but here, yeah, I take out the town hall, and I think I get one scatter if I remember correctly. I get kind of lucky with the scatter. It's not the most important target, I would say, but it's really nice. It's just nice extra value. Same with the enemy queen. The enemy queen is nice value. I don't want that hitting on my heroes the entire time. And you'll see the value I got, I'd say, is pretty good. Because what did I leave up? I mainly left up Splash. And that's not good for a Lalo. But for heroes and super barbarians, that's pretty good. So you'll see what I do here. I send the king, and the goal is to send the heroes and let them survive for the rest of the attack. You need them to survive the rest of the attack and just take the rest of the base down. I pair this Electro Titan with it. I would say this is the one variation of this attack that you should pair with an Electro Titan, and also the Mini Warden, Apprentice Warden, whatever. The Electro Titan is instead of an Ice Golem. The Electro Titan has a lot more value, a lot more space, but it's really good here. First of all, the Electro Titan is really good at dealing with enemy CC troops. If you deal with a Lava Hound, that's going to be troublesome for your queen, but the E-Titan can help you get through it really easily. Also, enemy Skelly Traps, those are pretty problematic to heroes, but the E-Titan will just burn right through them. And you'll see that, yeah, the Eagle is not the huge problem here because my heroes have so much health. And you'll notice how I'm just sprinkling these Super Barbarians on the outside of the base. And the purpose of that is to funnel the outside and make sure that my heroes stay on the inside of the base. I also have 4 Super Wall Breakers you can see in my comp. Normally those would be pretty important, but for this specific base, it happens to be really opened up, so I don't actually need them. But I would recommend usually bring like 3 or 4 Super Wall Breakers just to give yourself some access to the rest of the base. You'll notice here my heroes stay inside the base, and I'm just gonna sprinkle the outside with Super Barbarians. This case it'll be to distract the enemy defenses, but also just to make sure my heroes don't ever like go wander too far outside. I put the RC in here primarily because I wanted some of these outside targets. I think I just wanted it to support the heroes at this point, but yeah. That's pretty much it. And this base is pretty much gone now. You'll see that my king's about to die, but my queen is still very close to full health. My RC is full health. They both have abilities, and I still have a ton of super barbarians. And the rest of this base, there's like no way that any of this is going to survive against these heroes. So, and I also have a ton of super barbarians. You notice how like the super barbarians, their main purpose was just to support the heroes and make sure that the heroes stay inside the base, and they're also to distract the defenses away from them. So ton of swag here. Basically, just crush that base. So that's how you want to play this strategy. Again, this one, it's all about supporting your heroes. So you want to take out all the heavy hitting defenses that specifically the Monolith, Rage Towers, Single Infernos, things that will burn up your heroes really easily. So yeah, let's hop into the next one. All right, so this is the last attack that I wanted to show. Actually, maybe one more, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, this is a variation that I kind of came up with myself. I mean, I doubt I'm the first person to try it. There's probably someone else who already did it. But this one is with the Dragon Riders and Dragons, the Skybird combination. Now, the reason this one kind of goes, it's pretty, I'd say it's somewhat similar to the Super Barbarian idea, where the main thing is that with this one, with the Blimp, just like the Super Barbarian Blimp, you don't want to, you want to be taking out the defenses that hit like heroes, and specifically the dragons and super dragons, or not the super dragons, the Dragon Riders really hard. So in this case, I want to take out the Single Infernos because my idea is that whatever is left after my Super Archer Blimp, I'm going to take out mostly with my dragons and the Dragon Riders. This one, I would say, it's pretty similar to the Super Barbarians, honestly. That's probably why it's not used too much. Yeah, I would say that this one, it's just a decision of whether or not you want to take out the rest of the base after your blimp, whether you want to take it out with your heroes or with the dragons in this case. So in this case, it'll be the dragons and dragon riders, which are an excellent combination with each other. And you'll see here I chose this blimp angle because I want to get rid of the single inferno specifically. Those are the most important targets. Also the town hall, actually that's probably the most important target. But those, I'll take out the eagle, enemy heroes, all that. It's really good. So yeah, I try that here. I'd say typically the case where you want to use this attack is when maybe for some reason you can't get to certain areas with your heroes. If you think that your heroes are not going to make it to a specific area of the base, maybe the dragons and dragon riders will have an easier time making it. Yeah, this specific attack, this specific base, I would say very easily could have been done with a super barbarian blimp. But yeah, you can see, again, so much value from this blimp. You don't want to design your bases like this, where it's so compact in the middle, because that just gives so much value to this type of attack. And the rest of the base, I would say, yeah, I'd say Alalo probably could have also taken this base out, the rest of this out, but yeah, anyways, what I do here, I just funnel a little bit, and then, yeah, I just throw in the dragons and dragon riders in. Notice how I actually don't even have max dragons on this account, but this attack is just really strong. I don't even know if I have max dragon riders, honestly. I don't remember. Are they level 2? I think that might be, yeah, I don't think that's maxed either. This is like a Town Hall 13 attack right here, but with the extra spell space, I think. So yeah. Anyways, I'm using my heroes on the outside this time. The reason why is I'm trying to funnel and make sure that my dragon riders and dragons, the skybird, stays on the inside of the base. And you can see they power through this area pretty well. And there's really not that much you have to do here. You just kind of wait for them to move by, and then yeah, they just take out the rest of this base really easily. The RC was pretty much swagged as well. Again, if you can get the value that you need out of the super archer blimp, then this attack will be easy as hell. All right, so I recommend at least considering this variation of the attack. This and the super barbarians and the Lalo, I think those are the most important ones. The Lalo and barbarians are probably the most important ones you want to know. So I'll show one more attack using this. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay guys, this one I am doing from my Town Hall 15 account, so it's a little bit different. I have some extra housing space, more maxed stuff, I guess. Maybe not. That's debatable. My king is rushed. I'm trying to unrush it right now, but other heroes are pretty much maxed. And yeah, you'll see what I do with this base. So, what did I realize when I looked at this base? Well, first of all, there's like everything is clumped up. That means there's always going to be huge super archer blimp value, and that's what you want to see when you use this attack. So what was my primary target here? My primary target was to get down the scatters and the town hall especially. This rage tower would be nice. Land on the CC, get the expos are nice as well. And notice that if I land my blimp, say on the CC, which is what I plan to do, I can take out the monolith as well. That's also an extra really nice target. What I leave up is probably these two enemy heroes. Maybe I get one of them, but I doubt that I'll get both of them. I'll probably leave up the single infernos on the back, and I'll definitely leave up the eagle here. So notice what you're leaving up on the base. So what can I do with the 3 single infernos and that eagle? What can I do? Well, I can Lalo through them. Why? Because they're not, what they do is, what single Infernos do best is they hit heroes really hard. So this specific base, if you're blimping from the monolith side, it doesn't make sense to use super barbarians, because when you use them, your heroes are just going to get burned up by these single Infernos, and that's not what you want to have happening. You can take those out. This area that you're leaving up doesn't have much splash. It's mainly the Eagle, but the Eagle, I'd say, it's a defense that I don't really think is too strong. Of course it is strong, but I think it can be dealt with relative ease. But the rest of they're basically not leaving up any splash. That's why the Lalo makes sense here. So what do I do here? Well, I blimp from 3 o'clock. Yeah, typical setup. And I'm trying to get the values the targets that I talked about earlier. So I wardened kind of early. This one has a super minion CC. That's totally fine. In this case, I think I'm going to land on top of them. And if I'm landing on top of them, I'm usually just not trying to target them. I'll just keep them invisible, not hit them. I don't want my super archers distracted on the CC troops very much. You want to have them just targeting the main values that you want, like the scatter, the town hall, etc. So that's what I do here. The blimp makes it. I invis and do the regular shenanigans. And here we take out pretty much everything that we want. I took out the rage tower. The monolith went down. And I think the scatter and both scatters and the town hall went down. I think both scatters go down, right? Yeah, both scatters went down. Almost got the single Inferno. That would have been nice. Some damage on the queen, also nice. So I took out pretty much all of the 3 o'clock section of the base. What do I do now? So I need to send my heroes. I decided to send them to the top. I was planning on doing it starting from about 1 o'clock. The reason why is there's the enemy heroes there, the RC and the queen. I want to take those out with the Lalo. I don't want to take, or not, sorry, not the Lalo. I want to take them out with the heroes because my Lalo is not going to do well into those. So my plan is to send the heroes into the enemy heroes and then have the Lalo take the rest of the base out, essentially. And also another thing, it's not as relevant to this base because of the positioning, but I pretty much never like to Lalo into a sweeper, especially with this attack where you have no spell support. I think your Lalo can really struggle against a sweeper. It'll take a ton of extra damage. So I very rarely Lalo into a sweeper. I would say try to avoid it as much as you can. And yeah, so here I just send the heroes in. I have the, I don't know, where's that ice golem? Okay, the ice golem goes back. Yeah, I send in the headhunter to deal with the enemy queen, I think. Yeah, it'll deal with the queen just nicely. I get my primary targets down. And here's something that you'll notice what I do. I send the Lalo really early, and I start from the left. Why did I do that? Well, here's what my thinking was. I think if I were to delay the Lalo in this case, I think the single Inferno could still burn out my heroes. And I actually want to get as much value out of them as I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm sending the Lalo with the heroes to take some of the damage off of the heroes, and then just letting the heroes finish off on the backside. That was my plan. I didn't want to just waste hero value here. So I send the Lalo with the heroes because, number one, I'm not too concerned about time since I'm sending it really early. And number two, it's just really good support. So I think if you're concerned with time, you shouldn't do it like this. You should send the Lalo, say, from the very bottom side. But if you have the time and it's not a concern, you could send it in front of the heroes just to tank for them. And try to keep your heroes alive. So that's what I do here. I don't remember if I completely executed this correctly. I set the RC with the Lalo just for support. I don't know if I needed to do that, honestly. I probably could have delayed it, or I could have just sent, I guess, it's probably fine if I send it, just to support. In the end, yeah, the Lalo's tanking for the heroes. The heroes are surviving just nicely. And here the Lalo does kind of fizzle out. I mean, there's still a lot of balloons here, so it doesn't completely fizzle out. But you'll notice how these heroes and how the Lalo protected really well for the heroes, and they're still like very, very healthy. RC and Queen have most of their health and and the King has a little less than half, but all three have their abilities, and that's really nice. So you'll see that they'll continue to beat through the walls, minions on the back to clean up, and yeah. Diggy is really nice here. I mean, actually Diggy was kind of a dumbass here, and got burned up by the single, but yeah, here we go. We got the single tank locked onto the RC. That's kind of unfortunate. That wouldn't have happened if Diggy was being smart, but okay. And here there's no base left. There's no base left, and we got our heroes with both abilities, so this is crushed. This attack, you can finish, I mean, with attacks in general, it's okay to finish on your heroes. If you can keep them alive for a really long time, it can be really helpful. And you can if you tank for them really well, you can just finish on the heroes, and you can plan stuff like that. You don't have to have like your heroes take out a section of the base and wait for them to die, and then Lalo or whatever attack you can use the rest of your army for, the rest of the base. You can support your heroes and let them take out the rest of the base. Especially at these higher levels, at the higher town halls, heroes have tons and tons of value, so you definitely don't want to rush them. So yeah, that's what my spiel on the attacks are. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've got here. And yeah, so I hope that you guys learned a lot about the super archer attacks in this video. I feel like these tips really helped me when I was learning this attack. And of course, as always, like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.